When he first started to get the attention of sportscasters, his name was a tongue twister for people like Cactus Jack Wells. But it's my privilege to introduce Scott Kwasnitza to you and to talk about his baseball achievements. Scott, you were inducted into the Manitoba Baseball Hall of Fame in 2011, but I first heard you described as an excellent all-round athlete at Westwood Collegiate in Winnipeg. Was that accurate?
I would say so. I played just about every sport back in those days. We stayed within our season. I was a volleyball and basketball player. Hockey had to fall by the wayside, and of course there was baseball in the summer and a little bit of golf on the side. So I enjoyed all sports, and I think baseball ended up being my true love.
That was the favorite that you had, eh? Good. You were a pitcher and a first baseman in a career that took you from minor baseball in Kirkfield Westwood to the Canada Games, to the Western Canadians, to George Fox College in Oregon, to London, Ontario for senior baseball, and to the Gros Isle Blue Jays. Can you name a special playing highlight along the way with all of those associations?
Well, I would say in 1980, in the early 80s, we ended up winning the league championship as the St. James A's Juniors.
Right.
We had some great midget teams out of Kirkfield Westwood. We won the league. We were undefeated. North Battleford, we lost in the finals. London, we ended up having an opportunity to play against the national team as our league all-stars and beat them. And certainly Gros Isle was probably the most enjoyment that we had. It was just pure baseball for the fun and love of the game. And so I would say those were three highlights that I remember.
Those are special highlights for sure. You were a four-time All-Star pitcher with St. James, plus being selected as the Manitoba Junior Pitcher of the Year in 1982 when you had a great record, 10-1. And the year before, in 81, is when you received that baseball scholarship at George Fox, was it? The year before that?
It was the summer of 1980, and I ended up going down in January of 81. We were out in a tournament in Kamloops. There was a Pittsburgh Pirates scout, so it was so late in the summer that I did attend U of M for a semester, and then went down in 81 to start my collegiate career at George Fox in the large metropolis of Newburgh, Oregon.
So somebody must have spotted you along the way, a scout?
Yeah, there was a Pittsburgh Pirates scout, and in September, the general manager of the Pirates at the time, Murray Cook, flew from Minneapolis. We worked out at Allard Field in Kirkfield Westwood, and he had a contact down at George Fox College, a former pro pitcher who was my collegiate coach, and that's how we made our way down to Newburgh, Oregon.
Another credit we want to mention, you were chosen as the All-Star first baseman in the Western Canadian Championship in North Battleford in 1983. You must have had a pretty good tournament out there, I guess.
I did, and I did play a lot of positions, and I was in that tournament I was mostly an outfielder, but I got hit in the elbow by a pitch early in the tournament and couldn't throw, so they found a spot at first base, so I bumped our regular first baseman and just was lucky to hit a few home runs and ended up being all-star at that position, which really wasn't my main position at that time.
And did you play first base as a result of that thereafter?
I did, because I had hurt my elbow, I'd injured my elbow, and I guess with age and experience and with the slowing down of the legs, that was sort of a natural evolution to the Gros Isle Blue Jays, playing first base and not having to run too far.
Another point we should speak about is between 1974 and 83, you played in 10 straight minor baseball provincial championships. Not many youngsters can say that stuff.
Yeah. My minor coach, Graham Nickel, who was one of my inspirations and mentors in baseball, just an enthusiastic coach and administrator. We hosted several of those, so by virtue of being the host, we were able to attend. And we just had some really, really great teams in Westwood, Kirkfield Westwood, coming all the way up through the system, including Canada Games was one of those teams. And so it was a real honor to be able to play in that many championships in a row.
Scott, you played in London, as you mentioned, in the Southwestern Ontario Senior League for 2 years in 86 and 87. Can you tell us about that experience?
That was the best baseball, the top talented teams, senior teams in Canada. That was some of the best players that I played against. I would say I was in my prime at that point, and after my collegiate career. So that was a really great experience to play against some of the best teams in all of Ontario. And the highlight, of course, being able to be a league all-star and playing against the Canadian Olympic team.
Something special to remember. So, as a result of that, you were inducted into our baseball shrine. You also have been coaching, but now baseball and fastball, for about 30 straight years in St. James, Warren, and Stonewall. Did you enjoy coaching as opposed to playing, Scott?
I did. I mean, it was a natural extension to give back to the game. My baseball coaching career culminated with winning the provincial high school baseball championships in Stonewall in 2000, which was probably the highlight of my coaching career. And then I had daughters, and they grew up to be softball players, so I made the switch over to softball.
You obviously had all of these highlights. Have you had any regrets along the way in regard to baseball?
I would say that I regret maybe not playing a little bit longer. Probably ended my competitive playing career around age 31, 32. And because of work and family, other priorities have emerged. So I think, looking back, maybe wished I had played a few more years. I keep saying I'm semi-retired, which means maybe I'm going to make a comeback one of these days, but probably not. So,
have you seen much change in baseball over the years, Scott?
I've seen a lot of specialization. It used to be back in the early days when we were playing multi-sports, you played in your season. There seems to be a lot of specialization, a lot of year-round training. The training and coaching has just increased and improved exponentially from the early days, and a lot more opportunities for baseball players in Manitoba to pursue scholarship opportunities in the U.S.
And what does it mean to be a member of the Baseball Hall of Fame for Scott?
It's very humbling. It's an honor. There's such a legacy of great players, coaches, people associated with the province of Manitoba. It's humbling to be a part of that and to be just play a small role and know that you've been recognized with your peers, because it's just a really humbling opportunity to sit in there with all of the great names that are associated with the Baseball Hall of Fame.
Scott Kwasnitza, an outstanding pitcher and first baseman who earned his way into the baseball shrine in Manitoba.